Before Prohibition and gangsters like Al Capone, there was the Black Hand, an early 20th century Sicilian-American crime ring that preyed upon immigrants. That is until a U.S. Post Office inspector named Frank Oldfield took it down. He is the subject of a new book by Victoria Bruce and William Oldfield called Inspector Oldfield and the Black Hand Society. And they join me now. Welcome, you two.
Thank you so much, Elsa.
Happy to have you here. This is really an interesting story, and I know that the subject is close to you. This is your great-grandfather?
Yes, it is.
Tell me why your family wanted to tell this story and also why they waited a while to actually tell it.
Well, I'm the one who really wanted to tell the story. Most of the rest of the family thought it might be a better idea just to forget about it. The reason we waited 100 years was we had fear of retaliation. And some of the people that were in the book on the bad side were some of their descendants still lived around us.
So they were still in the community. Have they passed now, or have you moved, or are you just hoping for the best here? You're scaring me. You're scaring me here.
Well, we don't name a name, but one of the characters in the book, there's still a little involvement in that former business.
Okay.
So we try to just avoid that particular person.
So tell me about the story itself. Don't give too much away, because of course we want people to actually buy the book, but sell us on it. What is it about?
Well, that's what hooked me. So I'd written 3 books before. William came up to me in a coffee shop. We both live in Annapolis. And he said, you know, hate to bother you, but what are you doing? I'm an author. My great-grandmother busted the first organized crime ring in America, and he was a U.S. Post Office inspector, and I have like 2,000 documents and the original mugshots and death threat letters all back at my apartment. And I was like, that's some pickup line. I'm sold, you know, so I go chasing after him to try to do, you know, I'm like, I gotta write this book with him.
Yeah, and so how much research went into this?
Well, William had been doing research for 13 years by the time he found me.
Wow.
So when he came over to my house, he had these huge Tupperware baskets of documents that went all the way back 100 years, because when Frank Oldfield left the trial that actually was the first federal prosecution of gangsters, he took all the evidence home. So he still has that.
Oh, wow.
And so that is the basis for a book. And you're seeing some of these images now that were actually in his grandmother's archives.
Oh,
so
my
it's
goodness.
Thousands and thousands of hours. I can't even tell you how many hours of research went into this.
How captivating is that? So as a postal inspector, what is it that he saw, or what did he do that he was able to take down the mob?
Well, at the time, the postal inspectors were the most powerful federal law enforcement agency, and they could go anywhere around the world where we had treaties to be able to ship the post. And because of that, the mail was a federal crime, so that was why he was given the jurisdiction over it.
Got it.
And to make a long story short, they were all convicted of using the mail to defraud and conspiracy.
Mail fraud.
But all their murders and all the other mayhem they caused didn't put them in prison.
My goodness.
So they went to Fort Leavenworth, the federal penitentiary there in Kansas, breaking rocks for depending on their level of bad guy status.
This is just...
you know, for up to 16 years.
So of course we could talk to you guys about this forever, but of course our segment is short. But if people, you're going to give a talk pretty soon, right?
Right. So we'll be at the Ivy Bookshop in Baltimore. We're so excited because the story starts in Ellicott City. Frank was actually from there, so there's a big Baltimore and Maryland component.
Right here,
And we'll be talking for an hour and doing a book talk and signing at the Ivy on the 25th.
Perfect. We got it on the 25th. All right.
7 o'clock.
We'll make sure that we check it out 7 o'clock to 8:30, I believe.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank
really
you
appreciate
so
it.
much.
And you can get a signed copy at the Ivy Bookshop that night as well. We'll be right back with more Midday Maryland right after this. Stay tuned.